Mikey, I think he likes it. How about some more?
Hell yes.
In a world of big-budget blockbusters, travel back in time to explore the epic and not-so-epic movies of yesteryear. Join Tim, Chris, Dana, and Spaz on their adventures through Nostalgia Land. This is On Second Watch, a movie nostalgia podcast.
I know Kung Fu.
Show me.
So welcome back to On Second Watch. This is part 2 of our Matrix review. And just to start out right away, let's jump into our over-under. This was a fun one because we had a total of 8 questions, and we were a little bit all over the board, so let's just jump right in. The first question was, how many bullets were shot at Neo during the Dodge This scene? And I set that bar at 7.5. The actual number that I counted was 7.
Yep, I got that wrong.
That makes Chris the winner on that one.
For the first time, the half-C thing worked in my favor.
Shut up, Portrait. The half-C will always work in someone's favor. That's why it's there.
I guess so.
You can't shoot half a bullet. So question 2, how many times does Agent Smith say Mr. Anderson? And I set that at 8.5. I counted 10. So it is over, which gives Dana and Spaz a point.
Yes! Woo-hoo! Sucker!
So we're 1-1-1 across the board. Jumping down into question 3, how many guns does Neo use in this movie? I set it at 13.5, and I only counted 11.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I thought in that one scene they used like 20 alone.
With the whole, like the
the
building scene?
lobby scene, yeah.
That's where most of the guns came into play, for sure.
Yes, yeah.
I think, other than that scene...
He had a Glock at one point, like when they're in when he had the deja vu, they gave him a Glock there. That was, Other than that, that was it.
There's the rail gun from the helicopter.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I don't know if it's a rail gun. It's some kind of minigun.
Those are the only 2 other than that, so he used most of his weapons in that scene.
Right, which, because apparently we can't reload, we just throw away the weapons and grab new ones. I have issues with that scene now.
I have issues with that scene because you don't need 11 bullets for one body.
We'll get into this later, but there was some serious rose-colored glasses on prior to seeing this again. That's all I had to say.
Yeah, I think I'm with you there. But before we do that, let's wrap this part up. So the winner of that question is Dana.
Yeah.
What? Dana had under, everyone else had over, so Dana is the lead with 2, and Chris and Spaz have 1.
I'm going to lose. To somebody that never saw it or can't remember it. Awesome.
No, Dana
saw it.
This is one of her top movies.
I said, you know, it all blends together anymore.
We just haven't watched it.
I just assume she hasn't.
It's been a while.
No, I mean you're safe with your assumption most of the time, but this one I've definitely seen.
Okay.
She just got in trouble seeing it, but
she got grounded.
So how many times do we hear the word Matrix? And I set that at 27.5, and the actual count is 31. So it is over. All of you had under, so no points. Dana is still winning halfway through.
Oh, man.
All right, and our next question is, how many times is Neo shot in this movie? I set that at 12.5, and I counted 11. So it is under. And all 3 of you guessed under, so everybody gets a point.
Huzzah!
So Dana's got 3, Chris and Spaz have 2. I'm not liking where this is going. Our next question, how many agents are killed? I set that at 5.5, and I counted a total of 6. So it is over. Chris said under, Dana and Spaz said over. So Dana has 4, Spaz has 3, and Chris has 2. Are you questioning?
I'm vaguely disputing it.
All right, so you want me to list them out for you?
No, not really, but
I'm going to.
Do it, Tim.
I feel like it was the same one killed over and over a couple times. So does that count as individual agents?
Technically, there are only 3 agents in.
Right, exactly.
But they are killed several times.
But they're not different agents. Question was vague, doesn't count, omit it. I would have been right.
That's all right. Fine. We'll just put it to a vote.
Chris loses.
Yep.
I don't like this kind of voting structure. This seems like it's kind of like rigged and not my favor.
This is straight up democracy,
Chris,
brother.
You've pretty much won all except one. Shut the hell up.
Look, man, I'm just trying to get clarity on the question. There's only 3 agents in the movie, so 2 of them are technically killed. So,
at one point in time, all 3 of them.
3 of them got killed because of the minigun.
It's still under.
It's not under. Eat some shit. Let me have a victory, you asshole.
I hate this goddamn game.
Anyway.
Whatever, I'm right in my mind. Keep going.
Just living your own...
Man,
I usually do.
I want to throw punch you so hard right now, dude.
No, man. Safety distance.
Alrighty. Question 7. So how many times does Neo wake up in this movie? I set that at 4.5, and geez, I counted 7 times when he was sleeping and woke up. So
he was real tired.
He's a tired dude.
Learn how to kung fu.
Right? So Chris was the only one that said over on that one. So that makes it 4 points. Chris and Spaz with 3. Coming down to the final question. What is the total body count? I have 35.5. Let's see. Spaz and Chris both said over. Dana said under. So if it's over, we have a 3-way tie.
It's not.
It's over.
Oh, shit.
We have a 3-way tie. 4 points apiece.
Well, technically...
You know what?
Shut up, Chris. You shut your poor mouth.
Technically, if we go back to the other question, I would have won. But whatever.
You shut up.
You are a terrible person.
I know.
I've been saying that for how long?
So, I have to pull up some tiebreaker. So let's see how this goes. How many different types of guns are used in this movie? Some internet sleuths had figured out every single weapon that was used in this movie, and I counted them up. So I'm going to say over or under 12.5 different types of guns. Let's start with the birthday girl, Dana.
So I didn't pay that much attention.
Only I would.
Types of guns. So let's just say, you said it was 12.5?
12.5.
I'm going over.
I'm going to go over as well.
I mean, I already won, so I don't care.
No, you did not.
So I'm going to say under.
Now you probably won.
All right, it is over.
Yeah.
Sucker.
So now it's between Dana and Spaz. So how about...
What's up with this?
Over under 14.5. Let's go with Spaz first this time.
Oh, just pick something. Come on.
I'm going to go under.
And Dana picks over. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, over. Yeah. I'm going to do that just because I think it is.
It is over.
What? But
Dana wins the Matrix.
But I'm pretty sure that Chris is saying, no, I didn't. So you almost need to give him another question to go against me for the real title.
Whatever. I already won. But we can play Tim's game.
Chris, you did not win. You lost.
I won on a technicality.
You came in 3rd place.
You have a small face.
3rd place loser. 3rd place loser. It finally was not me. 2nd place is victory, baby.
It's the little things in Spaz's life, you know. It's not he'll take the 2nd.
Yeah, all day, every day.
I think Chris is giving me this one because it's my birthday. That's all.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm giving it to you because it's your birthday.
Dana is the one.
No, you're getting it because you won. Chris lost because you got the answer wrong.
Oh my god!
I love you guys.
I would be interested to see what the listeners think about that question.
Fine, I will throw that out there on Twitter when we're done, and we'll have a debate.
Don't worry, Chris is always wrong, so that's for me. I already know this.
We'll let the internet decide. Do you support Angry Chris or the birthday girl Dana?
No, you need to explain the question and explain my stance on it as to why.
I will be explicit in the question so that it is a fair vote, and I will see what the masses have to say about it.
Yeah, okay.
If they go for Chris, they're wrong as well.
That's fair.
So just for posterity, there were 16 different weapons different types of guns that were used.
Yeah.
And in addition to that 16, there was 1 gas grenade thrown, a throwing knife, and a lightning rifle.
I was gonna say the Tesla coil gun. Or
I
whatever
was just counting that one too, the lightning one.
I did not count that in that 16.
You didn't? Oh.
But because it's not a real weapon, they made it up. So.
Oh, okay.
So there we are. Dana's the one.
Whoa.
I think Chris, you'll be able to redeem yourself in the next movie.
Oh yeah.
Last Crusade, Chris.
It's been a moment. I need to rewatch it.
Do you like 8 questions, or you want to slim it down to less?
8 is fine.
I will do the best I can.
7.5.
I will ask 7.5 questions then.
I would.
You just cut out half.
You would ask a half question.
You would.
How many times does Indy? Yeah,
perfect.
I'll do that.
Over.
Exactly. How many times does Indiana Jones crack his whip? 13.25 times. He grabs it, but never really fully extends it, so it's a quarter of a time.
There's an overhand crack. It was.
I got a couple overhand cracks for you right now.
Anyway, so let's jump into this movie because I think there are a lot of things revealed after not watching it for a long period of time.
Yeah,
good and bad. I think for the most part, if I pull up my sheet, I think for the most part we were pretty optimistic about this movie. For it being the time that it came out, it was very groundbreaking. It had a lot of things to it that others never did before. Had some great effects, a great storyline. But as far as it aging, I think that's what we're going to dive into right now. So, Chris, I think you're itching to rant on this a little bit. Let's start with you.
It's hard. I like this movie. I really do. And like what you said is exactly that. It was an awesome movie for 1999. Does it age well? No, in my opinion, it doesn't. There's a lot of things I think that made that movie fantastic in 1999 because it encapsulates a ton of like popular aspects of 1999. I mean, yeah, you have the cyberpunk, theme. Even now, obviously, we have the game coming out, in a few months. But like the 1999 representation in this movie, a lot of leather, that industrial vibe, steel toe boots, trench coats. It's a little rough. I mean, I know it's still popular and stuff, but to me, that was very popular, very mainstream in 1999. So seeing that now, it's a little rough to kind of look back on and go, wow, I just keep thinking of that episode of Friends when Ross wears the leather pants. So much leather pants going on in this movie. Not to say that's a bad thing. Hey, man, if you like leather pants, then wear leather pants. Also, at that time, the bullet time, special effects, they were really groundbreaking, like you said, amazing. But 21 years later, and the onslaught of movies that we've had now, I think of like the Avenger movies or any, just like what they use technology-wise. It's a little hard to watch. Like, I'm going to spoil it slightly, obviously, because it's a movie review, but the fly-up scene at the end of the movie was super rough to watch. I don't hate the movie. Obviously, I don't. I love the movie. It's a lot of rose-colored glasses, in my opinion, since I saw it last. The story's really neat, but for the first movie, there's not a ton of story there. If you boil it down, dude pulls a guy out into the real world, thinks he's the chosen one. Guy thinks he's not. Learns a lot of kung fu, fights some dudes, and that's it. And then the 2 sequels spiral off into Crazy Town. As far as the story goes, yeah, I don't know. That's just my thoughts. Like I said, I don't hate the movie, but it obviously has not aged as well as I thought it would.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, I kept trying to think of it as they're intentionally calling out that it is 1999. They say it, Morpheus says, you think it's 1999, but it's really closer to 21.
Right.
So they're time boxing it into that time period. So no matter when you go back and watch this movie, it's 1999. It's not like it's present day type of thought.
Right.
That's why I kind of gave it the excuse around some of the technology, like the cell phone usage. It's cemented into 1999. It's not supposed to be some futuristic world. So for that, I can give it excuses. But, obviously when you're going back and the things that we're used to now, graphically and things like that, some stuff really did stand out to me, especially now that, we got these high def TVs,
right?
Streaming it or watching it in 4K or whatever, some of the CGI is pretty glaring. You can see a lot of things that stand out to you.
The sewer scenes and the what do they call them, squids or whatever?
Yeah, the squigglies, the sentinels.
Yeah, the sentinels. 21 years ago, that was groundbreaking. Like I said, like Tim, I think you really kind of nailed it. It's very etched in the 90s, like you said, like to the clothing styles, because that was popular back then. I mean, it still is. I mean, everything's always going to be popular depending on what you grew up in. But back then, like that industrial look, I think was very popular back then in the 90s. I mean, don't get me wrong, soundtrack is absolutely killer. I forgot how many good tracks are on this soundtrack. I forgot I think they had Prodigy and a bunch of other ones.
Yeah, I remember this movie getting me into Rob Zombie.
Yep.
With your help, of course.
I mean, yeah, that club to go to, in the beginning. I mean, it's 21 years from now, it's kind of like, to me, it's like looking back and watching, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a movie from like, when I was in 1999, 20 years back. I mean, Tron, the original Tron. I mean, that was 20 years difference. I mean, that's what you're looking at. Like, look at how crazy technology jumps. I mean, I think because the original Tron was like 1970 something.
Oh, Blade Runner was 80. The newest one came out, 10 years ago or something like that?
Yeah, about
the newest one was like about
5 years?
5 years ago, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Maybe give or take.
But that was a huge jump. 25 years?
Yeah, but what I'm saying too is like technology-wise, like Tron was supposed to be cutting edge back then with the way they filmed it and stuff, and back then it was pretty cool, if not a little bit cheesy, but still cool.
Yeah.
Watching that 20, 30 years that hinges on it being sci-fi, being futuristic, you can see how dated it is. Very much kind of, I think, like even The Matrix. It's 21 years now. It's starting to show its age a little bit, in my opinion. Not that it's a bad thing. I mean, the movie's still enjoyable, and I think anyone that has not seen it should.
Yeah,
that's one of the reasons why I love the entertainment industry, whether it's film, video games, is that the innovators out there are pushing the technologies to the absolute limits and discovering new ways of doing things, and it pushes everyone to be better, and it invents new technology that may have costed a fortune to pull off at the time because it was brand new, but now we can do the same thing on our smartphones. So, for The Matrix, what it was groundbreaking in what they were able to accomplish from the cinematography standpoint, and it aided or paved the way for others to take that and then make it better. And it happens exponentially fast, with technology and processing speeds and everything. So it aids to improving entertainment as a whole. So for what it was groundbreaking, and they really introduced a lot of great effects and approach to cinema that we hadn't seen before. Yeah, maybe 21 years later, it doesn't have that same magical effect, but it can still be fun.
It's a prominent movie, in my opinion, for really putting sci-fi movies on the map. When people think sci-fi movies, a lot of them they go to is The Matrix, or Blade Runner. There's always that one every few years that's like, yep, this is a staple in your sci-fi library. I mean, I say that it's showing its age. I'm absolutely pumped for when Matrix 4 comes out. I know I don't know if it's in development at this current time.
Same time as John Wick 4.
Ooh, that's a lot of Keanu. All right.
Yeah, they're in the middle of, well, maybe less so now, but they've begun production. Dana, what about you? I know I think you were the one that was less hurrah about this movie when we talked about it. I know we had some discussions afterwards, but where are you at after watching this?
So I think before I was already saying a lot of what Chris had said was that I just didn't think that the movie was going to hold up. And despite the fact that I still enjoy it, I definitely feel like my thoughts were confirmed. I watched it and I'm just thinking, like, present day watching it, it was enjoyable, but it wasn't something that just shocked me anymore, and it didn't really have the same effect. It really showed its age in every way. But I mean, it's not something that I wouldn't watch if it was on. It's just, but it just kind of left a lot of, I don't know. I guess I wish I had that feeling I did when I first watched it, where it was this, the most groundbreaking, most amazing thing I had ever seen. Whereas now I'm like, no, not really. Like, I don't know. Kind of disappointing in a way.
And yeah, you kind of echo, I think, like what Tim was saying too. And I was thinking more about that because this movie was so steeped in the 1999, if you will. It's not one of those movies where it's like, I'm going to use it as an example and everyone's going to roll their eyes, but like Hocus Pocus. That movie was made in the early 90s. It shows. But it's okay because it was a snapshot of that. They weren't trying to be futuristic or cutting edge. It was just a snapshot of that time when that movie was filmed. So when you watch it, you're like, oh, that's okay. It's, it's early 90s. I dig this. To me, it's a lot of memories for me because I was born in 85. So by that time I was, 8, I grew up in the 90s. But for this movie, it's like it hinged, I think a lot of it hinged so hard on being futuristic and, it is 1999, but now it's, actually 2199. It just, anytime you do future movies, I think you have a hard time really keeping it up to that standard of being futuristic when you watch it 20, 30 years from now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how I feel. It's a weird way to describe it. I don't have an easy way to describe it, but like, it's one of those movies where it's like, it doesn't age because it focuses, I think, a lot on that.
I 100% agree with you because it just, I don't know. Had they used a different year, maybe it would hold up differently right now. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe not. It might not have. I don't know.
I think it's like any future movie. I mean, like I said, Tron, even Blade Runner to an extent. I mean, I enjoy. I'm not bashing these movies for anyone listening. Please don't take it that way. I enjoy all of them, but like they do show their age. I think Blade Runner, Escape from New York. These movies that hinge on being futuristic, and it's like you go back and watch these, and it's like, are they fun? Oh, absolutely. But they're rough. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I watched Escape from New York 10 years ago, and it was rough back then. So
I actually just watched a couple weeks ago. It's been like forever and a day since I've seen it, if not the whole way through. I watched it with my dad. I enjoy John Carpenter films. This was the first one I had like a hard time really being like, yeah, John Carpenter, woo! And it's like I almost feel bad because I do almost enjoy every movie that it is. And this one, it's so
right. Yeah. So with the Matrix, that's why I can kind of give it that pass because it centers itself in 1999. So
yeah, just
embracing that. I don't have as hard a time with that. When you jump into, we're not talking about the sequels right now, but I mean, I think that's where it ruins it to me is how they present the world and in those times, and also never mind. I was going to start talking about the Zion and the weirdness of that.
I'll be honest. I saw that they're all available to stream.
Yeah.
I cannot, even though I say, it goes off in a crazy town story-wise, I honestly cannot remember the story, the plot for either one of the sequels. So I don't know if I just am just feeling like being a glutton for punishment, but I'm probably going to watch them in the next couple weeks just to refresh my memories. Because I remember everyone bashing it pretty hard, but like part of me wants to know, is it as bad as the bashing? Does it deserve the bashing, I guess? Or is it just like everyone put the first one on like such a high pedestal that there was no way you could compete with it?
That's a fair point.
Yeah, I'm curious as well.
Like I said, I enjoy it. I didn't mind the second one all that much, but the third one, I remember I didn't get into that the entire movie. I think I fell asleep during the third one.
But I think the third one gets way too philosophical, and it I don't know. Chris, you can watch it and let us know because I got way too much of a backlog of movies to watch to jump back into those again.
Hey man, I'm all about watching bad movies.
Curious what you're going to say about it too.
Yeah, because I haven't seen the second or third one since I actually saw them in theaters, so it's been that long.
Yeah, they're all available, I believe, on Netflix.
Yeah,
I'm curious what you're going to say.
It's weird.
I won't watch them again because I don't remember feeling too crazy about them.
And that's the thing. Is like I remember not enjoying them as much, but I honestly cannot remember them. Like I know I've watched The Matrix here and there throughout the last 21 years. I'm pretty sure I've only seen these movies, maybe the sequels, like twice each, maybe, and it's been over 10 years for me. I'm okay with watching bad movies. I've done it before. I just rewatched the 1999 version of A House on Haunted Hill. It's like a subgenre of like Chris watches a bunch of bad horror movies again.
Chris watches it, so you don't have to.
The only thing I can say about The Matrix myself is I still, to this day, want Morpheus' sunglasses. Those things
were epic.
Are awesome.
I feel like they're impractical, though. I feel like they're going to fall off all the time.
Dude, no, man. Dude, they're not going to fall off. Those things are like glued onto his nose or something, man.
The one time when he puts them on.
They just had the coolest look.
I just remember when he puts them, like even watching it recently, when he puts them on at the Oracle. I mean, those things, he pinches that whatever clips to his nose, like super hard. I was like, oh, I guess maybe like alligator clips. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's probably just like those taped to the glasses.
But watching this movie, hearing all the dial tones, I was like, "Oh yay, it's AOL again! Sweet."
Do you guys remember? Like, I remember watching this movie and being like, those cell phones are so badass. I
Yeah.
want one.
Dude,
And I watched it
yeah.
again, and I was like, oh my god, they're huge. Like,
Yeah.
I forgot how big they were. I thought they were like
Well-
smaller than they were. Maybe they get smaller in the sequels, but
Well,
like
they do. I think they do. But 99, man, those like
they were cutting edge.
yeah, there was a cutting edge. I think they were like $1,000 or something like that. They were so expensive.
But
I love Nokia.
If I remember correctly, as soon as we finished watching the movie, that was the first thing I said is they couldn't have come up with cooler cell phones.
I remember like seeing that being like, I want that in 1999. And yeah, them being like astronomically expensive, and
Yeah.
it was a Nokia. So yeah, I mean, those things could last like a nuclear fallout and still survive,
It probably fell off that big fall from the building. It probably
right?
still was fine.
It might be scuffed.
Yeah.
That scene at the beginning of the movie where he dropped it, it's like
Yeah.
that was probably that wasn't CGI. He literally dropped it off the building and then just used it the next day.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, those Nokias are amazingly tough. My question is like, because it's 1999, can it play Snake? I mean,
Oh, probably. Honestly,
yeah, as a neat little extendy thing, you have to hit the button, but like, can it play Snake? I mean, that's my concern.
I think it
That's-
should be able to.
That's the $1,000 question.
Right? For the $1,000 phone.
Was that still like the T9 days too?
Oh, probably. I bet it was. Takes like 45 minutes to make a message to text.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was always a fan of the physical keyboards on the phones. I think I had like the LG brick is what I called it. The ones with the full on like QWERTY keyboard that cracked in half.
Oh, yeah.
Roughly like a 2-hour battery life.
Yeah. That was I had that. It was the chocolate. I think it was called for Verizon.
Yep.
Yeah, you flip it open. You got the key. Yeah.
Yeah, mine like actually like I think I still have it somewhere. I don't know why I saw them on my old cell phones, but yeah, it literally cracks in half, and the screen is like roughly 2 inches by 1.
Oh God, dude, you used to type so fast on that.
I used to be most apparently as fast as I talk. Nowadays with this like touchscreen like phones, I'm starting to feel my age. I'm like, why do I keep hitting the B button rather than the space bar? Like, this is pissing me off.
Something else I noticed in this movie was the excessive use of thunder and lightning to accent a point.
Yes.
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 Oh my god, it was nonstop. Like the as they're explaining things.
Yeah.
Like after a zinger quote, it was like, ooh.
Yep.
It was excessive.
I was just like, man, they really are really overdoing it.
Yeah, this one I probably should have used what do you guys watch?
Captions?
Caption, yeah, thank you. Because half the time I couldn't hear what they were saying because most of the time they were talking so low or the music's just going or like what you said, the lightning and the thunder. Plus I had my really extremely loud dishwasher going, so I had my TV up to like 60 just so I can hear it.
You put your
Yeah,
headphones
but
on,
I
man.
even noticed that when we were watching it, it was constantly like we were putting the voice up and down because the music in it was so loud or something. Like I don't think you were that far off.
No,
It was just that was a complaint we had too.
I threw my captions on. Yeah.
I should have. I totally should have. I had to rewind. I had to rewind it a few times. Just wait, what'd you say there? Didn't hear you.
So I have 2 points to make. One of them, the whole Trinity Neo love aspect of this movie. Could they have done without it? Because
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't really understand the importance of it, and it's not really an important thing in the sequels, other than it just adds drama. But I didn't feel like it really added anything to the movie.
I don't
It
think
didn't
so
add
either.
one thing.
Nope.
But I
He was gonna
feel
be the one no matter what. I think so.
I feel like a lot of movies, I don't want to say play it safe, but there's always like in a movie like this, they'll balance it out some way or another. They add a love interest, and sometimes it feels very shoehorned in. I guess my problem for this one was like it was like non-existent until like the part where it was like, oh, we need some kind of motivation for X, Y, and Z. Oh, we'll have Trinity fall in love with him because it ties this and this together. And
Well, he comes back to life. Well, not because of the love, but because he technically is the one. I don't know. I'm with you, Tim. There was no point to it.
I think it could have been done without.
My second question. I love the dialogue between the characters. A lot of explanation and how they frame this story of how the machines have taken over. I thought it was extremely smart, and to me, I think that's still very enjoyable to watch. And I thought it was extremely well written Agent Smith, I still contend, is one of the best movie villains of all time.
Agreed.
Yeah, he was
Hugo
awesome.
Weaving he did that part so well.
Mm-hmm.
Just
He did.
just everything about him when he's just kind of not showing much emotion, but then when you start kind of peeling back the layers of Agent Smith is unique in that he wants to get out of the Matrix. His whole portrayal and his dialogue with Morpheus is just crazy enjoyable, and it's so regardless of whether or not the movie aged well. There's so many
spectacular.
There's so many great quotes, and I thought that especially for the Wachowskis, this being an original film and something that they worked on together, how did they pitch this to Warner Brothers and get that funding? They sold it with spectacular writing, and that's why I'm curious if 2 and 3 are really as bad as we think they are.
Yeah,
but yeah, just I don't know. It's another one of those movies that paying attention to the dialogue and the things that are said, just I find myself really enjoying just kind of taking it all in. So between, we just did Girl Interrupted, and I thought that dialogue was extremely intelligent.
Yes.
Same thing with The Matrix. So I can appreciate the art of screenwriting and telling a story more so now as a pretend grown up. So
absolutely, I'm with you, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
Before we go any further, we had a couple people to celebrate myself and Dana our birthdays this week, and they purchased a shout out and wanted to throw some support our way. So the first one comes from my dad. And he said, to my wonderful son and daughter-in-law, I enjoy your entrepreneurial spirit and perseverance. Happy birthday to you both, and Rock Paper Monsters forever. Yes. And the second one actually came from our good childhood friend Carrie. She threw some money to us and said, actually, she said nothing. She threw money at us and told us to shut up. Yeah, but she wanted to help us out. So she's a good friend of ours, and
miss you, Carrie.
And so thank you, Carrie. Thanks, Dad.
Yes,
appreciate
thank you, Papa,
it.
and thank you, Carrie.
So yeah, so everybody that gave us happy birthday wishes on Facebook and Twitter as well, thank you very much. We really appreciate it and the support, and I hope you guys can help us out with solving this dilemma over how many agents are killed and help Chris sleep at night.
Chris is wrong. For the love of God, Chris is wrong.
I'm leaving it up to the listeners because I feel like I'm not gonna bring it back up. We're just gonna wait.
You will not put me back into third place, you stupid ass. You are wrong.
Your headset and microphone light up more than my Christmas trees do. All right?
Yeah. Sexy. It's awesome. Especially if it's all my lights are off, I can see.
Like you fell into a box of Christmas lights and then found the microphone while you were at it.
Oh, Chris, you're just jealous.
He looks like Lobot from Empire Strikes Back.
He looks like... Never mind.
All I'm going to say is I know where Dan is, and that's okay.
Yeah, you never have to worry about losing him.
That's right.
Does those things strobe? Can you take them jogging?
No, I could not run in these things. Well, plus I can't run anyways. I'd run 2 feet, and I'd be breathing heavily. I'm breathing heavy right now. Oh God, just thinking about running is making me breathe hard.
Oh my God. Tim, keep going.
Anyway, so let's jump into our final ratings for this movie. I think this will be the first one that actually goes down. Let's start with Dana, since you gave it a 6 last time. It was the lowest of the 4.
It's going to be a 4, right, Dana?
After rewatching this, where are you at? 6 or up, down?
I am going to put it at a 5 out of 10, but my reasoning is that obviously it didn't hold up, but it was still an enjoyable movie, like something that I'll still watch, but it's definitely not the favorite I remember it being.
I think that's totally fair. Spaz, how about you? You gave it a 7.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it I'll give it a 6.5.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm just with everyone else, man. It's just the story was good, the score was good, but just the CGI, you could see everything in these fancy new TVs we have. It just yeah, I'm with Dana. It just didn't hold up as well as I thought it would.
And Chris, you gave it an 8.5. It's still hovering around there, or?
Yeah, no. Like I said, a lot of like rose-tinted glasses there. I think the fact that, we went and saw it for my birthday. I saw it with you guys. My father took us. That's one of those things I've always enjoyed is like going to the movies with my dad. So for me, it's got a lot of like other things playing along with it.
Nostalgia for you.
Yeah, seriously, to the utmost point of nostalgia. But if we were to separate that and look at it as just like the movie 21 years later from when I saw it, I think Tim, I agree with you. I like the originality of the story. I like the soundtrack. I think it had a couple of interesting things 21 years ago that were groundbreaking, but does it hold up in 2020? No, not really. I think it's a good movie. I don't think it's my favorite movie of all time. I'm giving it a 7.
All right, and I was swept up in the nostalgia, and I gave it a 9.5. 15-year-old Tim, this was his favorite movie. Everything about this movie I loved.
15. We were like 12, bro.
99, 14 and a half. 14, 15, sir.
Yeah, he's right. For some reason, I'm like, here I am saying 99 the whole time, and I'm like, oh yeah, 97. I'm like, wait, no, 99. Yeah, 14.
Yep, because we were going into high school.
I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, we were definitely in 8th grade when this came out. So
Yeah, that math is apparently challenging.
15-year-old Tim, this was his favorite movie. Like I alluded to, I wanted to be Neo for Halloween, but that was not going to happen after everything that happened.
With your hair, it could have.
With the hair, yes, but walking around in a trench coat, not a good idea.
Yeah, no.
But for the longest time, this was my favorite movie because it just everything came together. It was fun to watch. The fight scenes were very well choreographed, and you could tell there was a lot of effort put into it. The dialogue didn't mean much to me back then, but now looking at it, so I have a better appreciation for the screenplay than I did as a kid. The CGI, yeah, of course, it's not going to hold up well. It was a long time ago. A lot has changed since the 90s with technology, but I think what they were able to pull off was definitely something to be admired. I understand why it is still one of the higher rated movies out there because of what it was able to do. But if you just take it at face value as far as watching it again today, sure, that stuff isn't gonna hold you over. But like I said, the writing, choreography, and a lot of the visuals were still very fun to watch and enjoyable. The actual soundtrack, listening to a lot of the bands that we listened to as teenagers, was great. The score itself, I think, bundled with the sound design and the sequences, made it much more enjoyable. I'll always remember that soundtrack just because just a lot of the visuals from that movie stand out to me. But that's kind of my long-winded way of saying I'm going to drop it down to a 7.5, a whole 2 points lower. The reason why it's a 7.5 and not lower is just because of how well the screenplay is written. And I mean, I could get quotes for days from this movie. Almost every line of dialogue is something that's quotable or impactful. So that's kind of where I'm at. It's just a very, very well written movie. I still like the fight scenes, even though they're not as badass now as they were back then to me. But you can tell the attention to detail they put into it between the the fight scenes and the sequences. So still something I will enjoy and something I would definitely will watch again. Okay, so that brings our average as a rewatch down to a 6.5, which is 1.25 lower than our nostalgia. So The Matrix is a clear visual as far as how nostalgia can play an impact on the movie-going experience. I think, Chris, you nailed it with the things you remember about this movie is more the experience than necessarily what it is. Mm-hmm. But that's the thing is as we age and are exposed to different technology or experiences, it just can definitely play a part in changing things. So, I mean, 1.25 difference is the biggest difference between our nostalgia and our rewatch, by a long shot. So, definitely, I think our overall consensus is that from that regards, it did not age well.
Stay in the 90s.
Well, for me, it's not going to stay in the 90s because I'm still going to watch it.
Oh, so am I, but
it's that raw emotion that you feel watching it for the first time. It's something that you cannot capture again with this movie. So,
I had that raw. I had the emotion during the first scene in the
right
hotel room, and then it's dropped heavily after that scene. I was like, oh, okay. Boom.
Yeah, that first scene was amazing with Trinity. And I had read that they were training for 6 months before they started recording or filming anything. And that scene alone took 4 days. And wow. I think they used that scene to secure additional funding from Warner Brothers to be able to put this movie on. They put a lot into that for good reason. It was probably the best start of a movie. Mm-hmm. That one of the best starts to a movie, I think.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so that the intro scene was spectacular, and then
It didn't get good. I mean, it picked up when he was doing his training and fighting with Morpheus, because then you had some more quotable moments in there. Do you think that's area breathing?
Right, yeah.
Oh, we can't forget about the middle finger of Keanu Reeves either. The awkward-looking middle finger.
Awkward middle finger.
So awkward.
I don't know why. I think he has his all of his knuckles are down, and then just his finger extended. He doesn't have like a half finger up too. I don't know.
Yeah,
it just looks weird.
There was no bird at all. It was just
Keanu is just not used to giving the middle finger because he's adorable.
No.
Fair point.
Yeah.
There we are. We're down 1.25 from our nostalgia. Doesn't mean that it's a bad movie. It's just
it's an entertaining movie at some points.
Yes.
Right. I'm still always gonna love it. For what it is.
For sure.
But today in 2020, it just doesn't have that same feel.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening. This is the first movie review that we're doing that we're incorporating our survey to allow everyone else to participate in our over-under. So at least in this episode, you got to hear our final results. For the next couple months, I'm going to keep track of how everyone does, and we're going to have a drawing at the end and start giving away some prizes. Like I mentioned, one of those prizes includes a annual membership to Ko-fi to be able to fuel everyone else's creativity. We use them for a lot of our fundraising and shout outs and movie requests. So they've been a great help to us, and they've been generous to offer a 1-year subscription for the winner of this drawing. So thank you to them. And I'm looking forward to seeing what everyone's survey responses are. That question about how many agents are killed is not negotiable for the survey. So let it be.
That's some bullshit.
No, because you were wrong, and me and Dave.
Your face is wrong.
Oof.
How many times do we have to go over this? I know it is. I look in the mirror all the time.
Man in the mirror.
This is the 4th episode where you brought up the man in the mirror.
I'm gonna go listen to it afterwards. Maybe I will.
Oh boy.
Look at the man in the mirror. Oh yeah.
Anyway, we're looking forward to seeing how that plays out. Definitely stay tuned for our next episode. We're going to have a lot of fun covering one of the 3 Indiana Jones movies.
That's correct. There's only been 3. And
There's only 3 movies.
One of the 3.
Uh-huh.
The Last Crusade. I actually did a poll on Twitter, and most people were saying Raiders first.
A lot of people love Raiders. Like, all kidding aside, they do. I love The Last Crusade just because I think as a kid growing up, it
had more.
I don't know how to describe it. I really don't. Sean Connery, but I think we're getting off track here. This is probably for the next podcast.
Yes.
But yeah. No, a lot of people love Raiders first.
Yeah, I think Last Crusade is more fun, but we'll definitely talk.
There you go.
About
That's
it
a
more.
really good way to describe it. It's more fun.
But definitely stay tuned for that. We're gonna have some fun, and we're gonna have a special guest. And I'm not telling you who that is because they're the ones that requested this movie for us. So they will be joining us for this recording from start to finish. Stay tuned. Dana knows who it is because she was there when I was talking to them.
It's gonna be good.
We're gonna have some fun. So stay tuned for that. Please share your nostalgia for that movie on Twitter or Facebook. I'm reaching out and trying to get as much as I can because there's so much in that movie that a lot of us
I haven't seen.
Oh,
wait,
I have failed, Dana.
Wait, you haven't seen? Oh my!
I've only seen the one that you guys say is not a movie.
The Chris.
Don't even say it.
I mean,
so before Chris has a meltdown,
yeah, it's getting there.
We're just gonna stop it here, and we're gonna save some of the rage for next week when we talk about the Last Crusade. So, thank you everyone for joining us. Check us out Facebook and Twitter to engage and share your nostalgia, and ask for your shout-outs or request a movie for us to watch at oswpodcast.com. Thanks everybody. Have a good night.
peace.